You already started recording?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
You know, you edit when you ready, you know.
yeah, okay. Oh, we living large.
Yeah, you feel me?
Fancy.
Legs up. You feel me?
Listen, how y'all doing today? We are here again with a special guest, main man, Aethon Blaque, also known as Anthony. Look, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling healthy, bro.
Feeling healthy.
Feeling charged, you know, feeling blessed, feeling confident. Feeling full.
Okay.
Because I just ate.
That's a fact.
But I'm also spiritually full. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been feeding myself the wisdom of God. And by God, I mean the universe. You know what I'm saying? Peace, love, and light always be infinite. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Said you feeling healthy. You feeling healthy. So starting off, we going. What does healthy mean to you?
To me, healthy just means wellness. I equate health and wellness as the same thing. So like, you could be mentally healthy, physically healthy, and or spiritually healthy. But you know, if you're healthy, then that means you're well. That means you're positive. You know what I mean? As far as just like, if you're healthy in the mind, that means you're thinking positive thoughts. If you're healthy in the body, that means you're eating positive foods that give you life and nourishment. If you're healthy in the spirit, that means that you know, have a good relationship with God, and you know, you understand, you know, the power of prayer and intentions and remaining humble. You know what I'm saying? So I really look at health as just overall wellness, and a state of wellness as far as just being. Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean when you think in positive thoughts, does that mean you don't have negative thoughts?
No,
Okay.
no. You know, I do think that even if you're healthy, you can have negative thoughts. Negative thoughts aren't healthy, but I don't think that, you know, a part of something can have enough of an influence to overwhelm the whole.
Okay.
You know, so if you're thinking holistically, or if you know that on the overall scheme, you're healthy. Naturally, as humans, we're flawed individuals, so no one can be perfect all the time. No one can be healthy all the time. Everyone goes through bad thoughts, or you know, has little slip ups on their diet. You know what I mean? Everyone might have their favorite snack that they love to eat when they know it's not good for them. We all have these things that kind of take away from the health, but as long as we're spending more of our time being positive, eating positive, and thinking positive, then on the overall, you're healthy. You know what I'm saying?
So just focusing. It's not that you don't have negative thoughts, but you choose to focus on the blessings, counting the blessings and the positive things.
Yeah, because I feel like whatever you focus on is what you attract.
That's a fact.
You know, and I feel like a lot of people might live in a negative space because they tend to focus on the negative things. You know, and I mean, I have personal experiences with that. The easiest one that I can call on is fear of messing up. You know, a lot of times we tend to focus on the slight chance that we'll mess up, as opposed to the infinite possibilities of what might happen. And there's probably just as many chances where you don't mess up as there are in which you do, if not more chances where you don't mess up, you know, given a situation. But a lot of times we'll look at that one opportunity to mess up, and our fear of that situation will make us focus on our fear. And if we focus on our fear, then we are attracting what we're afraid of.
Facts.
You know, so
That's deep. That's deep. For the people that don't know, you know, can you take us through how you got into your health journey, like how you got introduced into it, and kind of like take a step by step through that process and how you got here today?
yeah, so for me, it's kind of been like an ongoing journey, and I don't really remember where exactly it started, but I do have milestones and checkpoints that I can refer back to. One of the earliest being seeing my grandma was a major role model in my life as far as someone who is healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Because my grandma's never been. I've never seen my grandma upset really, or you know what I mean. Outside of some very specific and extreme situations, I've never seen my grandma lose her temper or act outside of her character. She's always been peaceful. She's always been positive. She's always been God loving, and she always put God first. And so, for me, I think that was the first role model of health or a healthy person that I tried my best to emulate. And then as I got older, I would start to research. It started with astrology, and then from then it went on to like studying subjective versus objective reality. And what that basically is if you're thinking objectively, you're an object of this reality. But if you're thinking subjectively, you are the subject of this reality. So, as an object of this reality, you don't really control it. You just are influenced by it. But as a subject of the reality, you are the reality. So everything in this reality is within your control. And so once I started to play with that idea, I started to feel like, maybe there's more to life than just feeling like you're going through the motions. What if we can navigate this thing in a way in which we can control what happens based off of controlling our own reactions, controlling our own thoughts and brainwave patterns. So
Start with you.
start with truth. So that's what's kind of started it off. You know what I mean? And I just would start doing things like giving myself affirmations, and I would even play with it and do little things like, waiting for the bus, tell myself that, the next bus, I was waiting for the trolley actually on my way home from school, and it'd be like 4 or 5 different trolleys, and I would just, as soon as I get down to the platform, I'll be like, the next train coming up is gonna be mine. And, it would happen. But those are just little things, just to play with the idea of belief, and the power of belief. And then from there, I started to really study more about health and wellness, through just reading different videos and studying things on YouTube, spirit science. Shout out to Blaque and Nobel, Brother Levi, and a lot of the books that they had there. Kind of just really prepped my mind for this idea of living healthy and what that meant. And then recently, something I've really been heavy on, or actually before I even say that, I think the next chapter started when I moved in with a friend of mine. His name is Henry, and he used to study this person named Abraham Hicks, which is like a spiritual guru. And she talks about the power of alignment and how everything is vibration. And that kind of helped me to connect the dots, because I was already studying on my own, and I already knew that everything is vibration and everything is energy, and energy can't be destroyed. And so if words are vibration, words carry energy, words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. It made me be more mindful about the words that I use internally as I'm describing my world. And I think that made a big difference as far as just feeling healthy, living healthy, thinking healthily, doing things that I knew made me feel like my best self, whether that be working out, stretching, studying, reading, telling myself that I can do what I plan to do. And then I started to see it actually work. I started to see myself getting booked for events as an MC, when that was the only source of income I had at the time. Started to see myself, being asked to open and host and go with Warm Daddies and perform and whatever the case may be. So, you know what I mean? It's been a continuous journey, man. Last thing I'll say before I let you ask the next question is shout out to Joe Dispenza, because he talks about how thoughts become patterns, patterns become habits, habits become traits, and traits become forms of belief. And this all matriculates over time, because your brain is constantly firing, wiring thoughts. And as you fire and wire the same thoughts, you're strengthening those neurons, almost like a highway in your mind. So the more you use that highway, the stronger it becomes as a neuron in your brain for you to think that thought. So if you program your own mind and your own consciousness to be grateful for what you have, and then also grateful for what you want, like as if you have it already. You're actually putting out the energy signature into the universe that will allow the universe to give you what you feel like you already have, because the universe can only give you what you already are putting out. So
And your mind don't know the difference between what you see on the TV screen or what you imagine and what's in real life.
yeah,
So if you imagine that you already have it and you feel that frequency and you believe it, then you're that much closer to obtaining it. You're magnetizing it that much faster. And so just be conscious, like he was saying, of the things that you watch, because you are believing that subconsciously, and the things you say constantly over and over because you're believing that subconsciously. So it's like it's another level of awareness of being cautious or being aware of the things that you say, so you could create what you want to create and manifest. And it's just all tools to help you get there.
yeah.
But you speaking on habits and routines, and I want to ask you, like, what are some of your habits and routines that help you maintain a life that you want to maintain, or get you working towards the things that you want to create and manifest?
Whenever I have a question, I figure out a way to answer it, or at least I try my best to figure out a way to answer it. So like, I try to watch motivational videos, at least once a week, or informational videos at least once a week, to keep me grounded within that motivation that I have within myself. Because I think that when it comes to motivation, you know, you you got it within you, but you sometimes, at least me personally, I can get charged by seeing something, and seeing something can motivate and inspire me, so it almost like refills my cup. Because as I'm going through life, I might be giving out so much energy to so many different things that my cup kind of starts to go like this. And I feel like we all need someone to refill our cups for us. And what might refill up my cup what might refill my cup might not refill your cup. At least for you, everyone has their own frequency of what they on. But for me, motivational videos, whether it's Will Smith, Rocky, even some motivational videos from like certain movies, they could just kind of fire me and up and just get me so much more ready to take on whatever I have to take on, and just remind me of the power I have within myself. So I definitely watch stuff like that to keep me grounded within that motivation itself. I have gotten in the routine of waking up early, which is due to my job, but still, because my job has me waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. Now, I'm at the point where I don't sleep past 8 any days. You know what I'm saying? So, when I wake up, I try my best to, give myself love first thing. Even if that means laying in bed for a little bit longer some days. But for the most part, I try to work out. I try to take a shower, cleanse my face. I got these facial cleansing washes that I do sometimes to just get rid of the blemishes, and just treat myself well, because I noticed that treating myself well plays a major factor in my overall self-esteem, and it just makes me feel that much more prepared to take on the day, because I feel like I have everything I need. Working out, I try to work out at least once a day, even if it's just doing push-ups. You know what I mean? Troy got me on these push-ups. Been doing it pretty much every day since December. I ain't gonna lie, I slacked off a little bit, but that's also because I'm working and doing a lot of stuff. But either way, being in that routine of just being used to working out, it becomes a second nature after a while, and you don't even realize how much it's benefiting you when you're doing it, because you're so used to it. And I think that's the whole point of a routine, is to just get used to doing stuff. But for me, the hardest thing is starting. So, once you do that, it's all uphill from there. Last routine I have is I routinely check my phone and my calendar to stay on track with my funds and to stay on track with my plans. I write things down as far as what I have to do on a daily or week-to-week basis on a calendar. That way I can refer back to it to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Because I'm very forgetful, so if I don't write it down, I would likely forget it. Um, keep my room clean room, clean mind.
He's talking about something that reminded me of success. And, how do you define your success? What does success look like to you?
To me, success looks like achieving the standard of life that I have for myself in my own mind, and really maximizing my potential as far as what I know I'm capable of, and then what I actually did.
Okay.
Like I want to be able to meet those two things. To me, it's not success if I haven't met what I'm capable of. I mean, I might be making steps towards that overall success by doing certain things, but like I have an idea for what my life would look like in a few years. Um, and so as I create that idea of what it would look like, I then have to create the steps to go along and, build up to that point. So success to me just looks like achieving those goals, And adversely, failure for me is not achieving those goals that I set for myself, But if you wanted me to paint a picture for you, um,
if you want to.
I do a little quick, John. For me, I'm a life path 8. For anyone who knows or don't know, life path 8 is about power and influence. Um, and at first, I wanted to shy away from power and influence because I felt like that was an egocentric goal to have. But I think everyone has a destiny in a sense. I think everyone has a journey and a purpose, and people's purposes are different. And I really have come to accept that my purpose is power and influence, but not for selfish reasons. My goal is to use that power and influence to positively influence as many people as I can in this world, and use my power to create systems for people, to build communities for people, to build, you know, uh, 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 just to build opportunities for love to flourish in whatever way that might be. Of course, as an artist, I want to be able to make money off my art, make a living off my art. But I want to travel the world. I want to motivate. I want to build. I want to actually create communities with my own hands. I want to speak like this, but put it into a song form so that's easy for people to digest. I kind of want to change the narrative of what we think good music is as a culture, you know. And I want to make positive living and healthy lifestyles. I want to make that the common thing for our culture. That's really important to me. So, yeah, that's success.
What role does accountability and community play in your life?
Accountability is what keeps me grounded and what keeps me humble, because remaining accountable for myself, what I did and didn't do, most importantly what I didn't do, is what keeps me pushing. It's what keeps me growing. Like without accountability there's no growth, and that's across the board. So when you even think about the word accountant is someone who literally just keeps count of things. And I think keeping count is so fundamental, because knowing what you have and haven't done helps you to see and plan that much more specifically to what you need to do. And so accountability is just being real with yourself and being like, yo, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And it's not to beat yourself up about it, but it's for you to recognize. Because if you don't recognize that you're not doing what you need to do, how will you ever do it? So, I think accountability is so important when it comes to that. And as far as community, I think love is, at this point, it's like the most fundamental human concept that allows us to continue to survive. Because I feel like without love, as humans, we would have literally torn each other apart by now. You know what I'm saying? Without love, we would just be all ego, all survival. We would be almost animalistic in our
balance.
Yeah, no balance. It's complete chaos. It's just the way that we move. So it's like love is what keeps us tied together. Love is what keeps us wanting to not just do better for ourselves, but do better for other people. And so when I look at community, I look at a community as a collective of people who in some way love each other, or in some way are, exercising that love. Whether it be through working together. When you look at the four pillars of community, I think that's like schooling, banking, um, housing, and groceries, like feeding each other.
Oh, clothing, shelter, food, sex. I think.
Sex.
It's not the four pillars of community, but the four foundational things you need to survive.
Okay.
Like understanding those things or having those needs met.
Right.
Are like the basics.
Okay. So that's actually a different thing, but that overlaps. That overlaps what I was saying. Because what I'm talking about, I heard from Dr. Umar one time.
Yeah.
Like schooling, a banking system,
donations.
Right. Schooling, banking system, groceries, and schooling, banking, groceries.
We're gonna find that and we're gonna throw it up. You feel me?
I mean, we're gonna do what we do, but
Fuck
either way,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of those things are integral community pieces and can't actually run without a community, because you can't do any one thing by yourself. You need a team. You need people to be able to work almost like pieces of a whole, or body parts to a complete body. You know what I mean? So it's like community is so essential. Community, you can't even say community without unity. So it's like community literally is coming together. Individuals coming together for a common goal. And I think that that's a key piece to the optimal lifestyle. Because I feel like you can do what you need to do without a community, but I feel like it's going to be a lot more struggle. And you're probably going to, if anything, resent the fact that you didn't have more help on the way up. You know what I mean? So yeah, community is so important. You know what I mean?
So what's some of your favorite meals, smoothies, liquids that you consume or have consumed over the time?
Okay. Smoothies. I remember when I used to come over to your crib, you said the juice is popping, you had the juicer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You throw all types of fruit in there, and sober gang. I love fruit ever since I was a young boy, so like I always bang with fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So when you was able to juice it and literally take all of the best parts of it and just put that into like a easy to consume liquid, that's the best. You know what I'm saying? Your body just consumes liquid way easier than it does food anyway. So for me to just take straight nutrients without any of the hassle, dope. My favorites, I love watermelon, I love orange, I love pineapple. So I'm sure you made some watermelon, orange, pineapple before. Probably threw some ginger in there before. So like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I like fruit and veggie medleys. You know what I'm saying? Something that got kale in it. Like my ideal would be something that got kale in it. Just kale as a major source of protein. And the spirulina, you know what I'm saying? We already know spirulina is big healthy for you. Ginger's great for the immune system. Pineapple for the flavor.
Okay.
Watermelon, just because of the high water content. And for real, we just freestyle from there. Like, but those are the basics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, foundation.
Fun fact, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it or looked into it, but like a lot of fruits actually kind of resemble whatever organ in the body they gonna help you with. You know what I'm saying? Like carrots, if you cut a carrot and then look at it, it looks like an eye. And I don't know if you ever heard this, but carrots help the vision.
Yeah. Vitamin A.
So on and so forth. Like it goes down the list. Avocados are supposed to help women with pregnancy, or women who are pregnant, I should say. I believe grapes help the lungs.
Walnuts, brain.
Yup.
Avocado is a great source of fat too.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
And it's good for the early development stages of children. So like consume that.
Like yeah. Bring it back, you know what I'm saying? So like that shows me how holistic life is. The fact that a plant or a fruit could be made in the image of what it's supposed to help. Who designed that? You know what I mean?
Creator, intelligence.
Gotta be.
Almighty.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, favorite foods. I'm not gonna lie, I really missed meat. You know what I'm saying? When I wasn't eating meat, so I really used to enjoy those meat substitutes. But I've come to find that they aren't really healthy as much as it's just a less unhealthy alternative. But I'm bringing it up because I do like it. My seitan or my tempeh, whatever the case. I love salads. I didn't really like salads that much growing up, but I love mixing up. I actually want to get to the point where every day I'm eating some spring mix with some avocados, fresh cut tomatoes, or fresh cut avocados and tomatoes, and throw some croutons on top of it with some vinaigrette. It's easy to make. You can do it in 5 minutes as long as you got all the ingredients, and it's healthy. And it literally gives you energy. So it's like it's win all across the board. Shout out J Electron. Sorry, J Rock. Shout out J Rock.
What's some health facts and things that you think like the average person wouldn't know? Some health information you would give to the average person that you think that could like really encourage them or help them in their everyday life?
I mean, we touched on some before as far as like mental health and like neurons and things like that, but which I think is like pretty much the most important thing.
I'm speaking more towards like a food aspect and how it affects you internally and things like that.
Okay. I would say a lot of people eat emotionally, and a lot of people do it without realizing it. So in a sense, you are what you eat. That's like a double play, because it's like, one, whatever you eat, whatever it brings to you is what you have. You know what I mean? So if you spend a lot of time eating stuff because it makes you feel good, but it has no nutrients, then you're getting a limited supply of something that makes you feel good, but you tend to need more of what makes you feel good because you don't have enough of it within yourself anyway. So like you go to like, I remember when I was a young boy, I used to eat honey buns all the time because sugar gives you that rush, and sugar is only a few chemicals short of cocaine when you look at the atomic structure of like how the molecules is put together. And that speaks that should just be a red flag to anyone who hears it, because of how addicting cocaine is and how dangerous cocaine is, but yet they have something that's almost or equally as dangerous in our foods everywhere. And we're so addicted to it, and we don't know that we're addicted to something until we really try to not eat it. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I first stopped eating candy, I'm like, dang, I don't know why I got these cravings to go get Swedish Fish or to go get Twizzlers, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, be mindful of what you're addicted to, but you have to first fast to refrain from it. A lot of times we justify our willingness to indulge into things, even though we know they aren't giving us any sustenance. So we gotta just do better with that. As far as you are what you eat, like, we gotta pay attention to what foods give us life and what foods don't. We all look at water as like the main staple of the difference between alkaline and acidic, but I really think alkaline and acidic applies to like almost everything in life. But specifically with food, it definitely applies to food. You know, candy, honey buns, treats. That's all acidic because at the end of the day, it's not giving you anything. If anything, it's taken away from you because your body has to give energy to process it, but it's not actually taking any nutrients out. So it's giving, but not taking. It just feels good to eat. Whereas though, if you were to eat some cabbage or some lettuce or some tomatoes or some just any type of fruit and or vegetable, you're eating something that was once alive, and then in some ways it's still living, because it has water in it. And so your body just does so much better with that. It feeds your body instead of takes away from your body.
I was just thinking about this last night, and basically, like, when you consuming, say, like a mango Arizona, and I bought one yesterday, and it tasted like sugar water, and I'm like, it's not satisfying. Versus, like, it's not satisfying, but mentally, like, the chemicals that's in it alters your mental to, crave it and to want it. But, like, if I juice or make a smoothie out of a watermelon, it's holistic in the sense of, like, I feel satisfied and complete once I drink it. Even with water, you could do that same comparison with water and a watermelon. Like, watermelon, when you drinking water, you may not feel complete and whole. You could drink a whole bottle and be like, that was all right. But you drink a glass of watermelon, you like, whew, man, that thing hitting.
Right.
It's different. It's really different. You feel me? Had you dancing, hitting the woo.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah, to that, even with water, like, a lot of people they take for granted what type of water they drinking, because we be seeing things like Essentia or Dasani or Deer Park, and we see spring water or 100% natural, whatever the case. Even with foods, when they be like 100% natural, and things like that, and we take for granted what they're really trying to tell us, because one, they play with the words. So like they'll say 100% natural, but like it was naturally made with bad ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that that'll like kind of make you feel like it's better than what it really is. So we just gotta be mindful of what we're drinking and eating.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you.
That was the third time, man.
We gotta be mindful of what we drinking and eating. We gotta be looking at the backs of these labels to see what's really in it.
Ingredient literate. It's important.
The more ingredients that's in it, the worse it is. 9 times.
You can't pronounce it, that's a problem.
Right, because that means it was man-made. It was not made from the earth. And they can make something in the lab and make it taste and feel exactly like it is from the earth, but it don't got that same satisfaction on the inside.
It's not holistic. The nutrients and the combinations that they try to create and make is not going to be the same as you getting it straight from the soil. You know what I'm saying? Like when they say cereals are fortified with nutrients, or you get iron pills and things like that, but it's made in the lab, that means in nature everything is coupled together. So when you consume calcium, you need magnesium to digest the calcium. Those work together, but they'll sell you calcium by itself
without the magnesium,
and then you digest it in your body and it turns acidic, because it's like, how I'm supposed to digest it without its partner? How I'm supposed to absorb it without this? So that's a major key to differentiating, man-made things and getting things from nature. It's already holistic. It's already whole, versus, you know what I'm saying, they trying to create a specific thing and it's not even that.
And to that, I just recently got some iron pills from the Rite Aid, but then somebody hit me up and was like, yo, like watch out for them because them Jones make you constipated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, it has been like 3 days and I ain't pooped. So you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that it was made in a lab, I'm just getting the iron, but there's probably something, I don't know exactly what it is. It's probably something I'm supposed to have with that iron to actually help it go through my body. Just iron by itself, isolated like that, is not. It's not necessarily. It's not bad, but it's definitely not the ideal. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not supposed to be constipated. If you eating something that's making you constipated, you gotta watch out.
You're supposed to poop every day. We consume 3 meals a day, so that means we should poop 3 times. But look, a lot of people not doing that.
Right.
So at least you start off with at least once a day. You feel me? Right. That's a goal everybody should have.
Also, and if you're not pooping once a day, but you want to, look into cleansing your colon. Cleansing your insides. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because your body might be backed up from eating so much junk that it slows down the process of your digestive system, so that the bad stuff stays in your stomach for longer. Because you know, when you're pooping away the waste. You're pooping away all of the bad stuff, because all of the good stuff gets assimilated in your stomach and then sent all over your body to where it's supposed to go. So your poop is really just all of the bad stuff that you really couldn't use. So if you are not pooping regularly, you probably need to cleanse your body so that it can properly and quickly digest all of what it needs to, and then quickly dispose of what is bad, as opposed to keeping it in your intestinal tract for days at a time, because that's going to make you sluggish. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have extra weight. You know what I'm saying? It might make digestion more uncomfortable for you.
And majority of your energy goes to digesting the food that you consume,
which is where the itis came from.
Especially if the food isn't if it's fast food and if it's greasy and things of that nature, then 88% of the energy is going to digest it, and it's all that extra stuff on top of it. So it's like, that's why you tired, because it's like, I gotta do all this work for something that's supposed to give you energy, and then you working against yourself. Right. So that's back to the thing he was saying, like being mindful of what's what, being able to discern. And I mentioned in other videos too, like being able to discern what's healthy for you and what's not, and having that communication with your body to be able to put things into categories. Because some people are allergic to certain fruits and stuff like that. So it's like, knowing that, you could take a test to figure that out, or you just knowing that from experience, or just knowing like this isn't the best for me at the end of the day. But it's some universal things, like we are majority water. So consuming water-based things should be our number one priority. When we wake up, when we going to sleep, consuming water-based things to get energy, that is ideal.
Yeah. And then I also say this: America is not really focused. America care less about our health. America only cares about the dollar.
They make money off of us being sick.
Right, and just overall unhealthy, which is why we have the number one obesity. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, we also gotta pay attention to how what we're eating is what's causing that sickness, or how what we're eating is causing that obesity. You know what I'm saying? And so in me saying that, we got to be more mindful about what we're consuming. America has made a lot of money off of fast food, and they make a lot of money off of fast food because they make the food taste really good. But when we look at it, there's nothing good about it, and there's nothing good in it. So overall, I think that we should just take much more pride in creating and cultivating our own meals, as opposed to trying to take advantage of the easy way out, which is buying fast food, because fast food is chock full of chemicals and just a whole bunch of processed BS that's going to feel good in the moment, but it's not doing anything good for you internally. The closer you can get to getting it from its natural state, the better. Even when you go into Acme's and ShopRites, that's not as good as going to a local co-op or a produce store.
It's cheaper at the produce stores too. Because a lot of people say, it's expensive to eat healthy, da 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 da. But like, if you go to the produce junction, you'd be surprised. You're gonna come out balling with hella fruit and vegetables.
Yo, man.
So pull up on us.
Yo,
connect with the squad.
You mean we can go do little shop runs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$1.50 gets you like 4 or 5 oranges, and that's all across
Bag
the
of
board
oranges.
that's all across the board for all the fruit. Like $1.50, $2 tops get you a bag full of whatever.
Thanks.
So, you know what I'm saying? It was 2 for like $1.50. So, you gotta get with it. I don't know what that said. Yeah.
Might be running out of space.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
All right, we getting close to wrapping up anyway. Any questions you got for me?
What's your goal with health and wellness? Like, how do you plan on utilizing that in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it something that you want to do personally, or is it something that you want to like just share with the world? Like, do you want to change the world with it? Like, you know what I mean? What's your goal?
For sure. Health and wellness first and foremost is, starting with self is for me. It helps me tremendously as far as remaining grounded, remaining connected to my environment, my spirit, just being a better person, empowering me and those around me. And then through me learning what I learned through it, I love to share this information with people. So that's why we have this platform, connecting with my friends and family, giving their perspective, and just sharing what I learned with whoever I come across, because it could potentially change their lives for the better. So yeah, health and wellness helps me work towards. It helps me be better, and it helps me manifest and understand the universe and understand manifestation and whatever I want to create in that avenue. And so yeah, if that was
a good answer. I got a good question right here though.
Okay.
Young library. I remember once upon a time you was just a regular nigga who used to rock the Abercrombie and Fitch
For sure.
heavy.
You already
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
Whole lot of
Out there on the designer tip, you know what I mean? Eating cheesesteaks
facts.
and doing everything else that
On the
every other
block.
person do.
That's a
That's
fact.
not health and wellness related at all.
So,
So, for me, my question is, what was it that like opened your eyes for you to make this big change? You know what I'm saying?
That's a loaded one,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, loaded
We're
lux.
gonna what he say? What he say in that drawing? The quote that was like the beloved, no, not beloved.
You talking about loaded lux?
Lost, yeah, from that drawing.
I don't even know. I know the name. I don't even know the quotes.
Oh, you ain't see that drawing. That's why.
I didn't.
Wow. Damn. He ain't about the culture,
right.
yo.
Using the quote, using the name, I don't even know him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Culture vulture. All right. But look, all right, so what's the question again?
The question. What made you start your journey?
Oh, yeah. So
like, what was
basically back
thing?
in 2013, 2014, you know what I'm saying? I was going through depression. And in me searching for answers and trying to find myself and get out of that state of being, it led me to read more, hence the name Young Library. And I was reading hella books. And I was going to Blaque and Nobel, going to Brother Levi class every week, learning, soaking in the knowledge, soaking in the game. And then it was like, I was learning about culture, all type of things. Africa, culture, history, America. I got a book list too, so if y'all want that, Jerome, hit me. I'ma send it to you. And then, but a lot of these books, mystery systems and stuff like that, they was talking about health and wellness and cleansing your temple, how that's so important. And I was like, I knew eventually like that was the next book I wanted to read or the next step. So Then I picked up Queen Afua, Heal Thyself. Come on, we keep mentioning this book. You feel me? Back to back.
That's good.
So I picked that joint up, and I was like, how was this? How don't we know this information? And it pulled a string in me, like, yo, like, I need to share this information with everybody I come across with, because, like, you could heal the illnesses that they say are so permanent or, you know, death-threatening, can be healed by natural remedies, herbs, exercise, eating right, changing your mindset, just watching what you consume overall. And it's like, wow, like, shifted, you know, changed my paradigm. So it was like, it was a point in time I was just going to open mics, just speaking on health and wellness, just to, you know, share this message. And now I'm doing it like this. It makes more sense. But yeah, that's how that went pretty much.
Word.
So yeah, man, tell the people about, you know, the music that you got coming out, the other things you get into, the carpentry, the, you know, let them know.
All that. Whole lot of. I do music. I sing.
Got a project out.
All right, I do have a project
Bless
out.
you.
Bless you.
One on the way.
God has blessed you. Yeah, right. It's cool though, because I'm grateful for her. So placebo effect, for those who might not know, is, you know, when you believe something and your body has an actual response to what you believe without any outside stimulation. You know, because you believe that you receive outside stimulation, your body internally makes the change that otherwise you thought was only possible due to that outside stimulation. So, you know, that's basically like, if you believe yourself, you can heal yourself, like what he's saying. And so I got a project called Placebo Effect. That's all I'm going to say about it, because if you want to know more, you need to listen to it.
Streaming platforms?
All of them.
All of them.
All them things.
Tap in.
You know what I'm saying?
Love.
Got another one coming soon.
Real soon.
Real soon. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even trying to talk about it. That's how soon it's coming.
Might be tomorrow.
You mean?
Huh?
So, you know, that's going to be called Hiatus. It's a conceptual project. And it's a lot of collabs in there. Definitely like a fair amount of singles. I'd probably say about 50-50. But all my music is about myself and what I'm going through, my journey and my process, and, you know, me using music as a way for me to cope with and understand my process, but then utilize myself as an example for other people to either relate to or just learn from, and then build on their own lives based off of what they've heard from me. And then I also want to use my music as a, you know, opportunity for people to just gain knowledge and information, because I'm always trying to find new ways to put information that's relevant to life and health and wellness into my music. I don't condone personally rapping about, you know, anything that's not somewhat positive. You know what I mean? You got to be some type of positivity you can draw from what I'm saying. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job as an artist, to what I feel. Carpentry. You know, I think that outside of the creative aspect, you know, building is so important, not just for all people, but specifically for our people, because we've been so disenfranchised. You know, we have so many degrees of separation from the things that will give us the most wealth, which I think one of the most important forms of wealth is real estate. So, you know, I felt like I needed to get into, you know, just some type of estates or real estate. Even if I wasn't selling houses, at least I could be doing was fixing them up, you know. So yeah, I fix up stuff at houses. So hit me up if you need something done with your walls or your, you know, drywall, cement work, you know what I'm saying, pointing, brickwork, you know what I mean, painting.
Either way, you're going to get this work.
Either
I
way,
figured it out. Loaded Lux, you're going to get this work. That's what it is.
There you go. There you go.
So, yeah, y'all know how to reach us. Tap in.
Aethon Blaque, you know what I'm saying?
Aethon Blaque. We're going to put the Cash App under there in case you want to support my man.
Listen.
In case you want to support me. You want to see more of these? You feel me?
You give to God and God gives back. You feel me?
Abundantly.
Come on.
That's on mothers. You feel me? And
Mamas.
we out of here. Y'all
Lady
enjoyed it.
mamas.
That was unnecessary.
That was a shout out to the Outcast, you know.
Weezy out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day though.